Easy English Conversations.
Simple English. Real conversations.
Hey English learners, welcome back to the Easy English Conversations channel, your cozy place to learn easy English through real-life conversations. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma.
Don't know where you're listening from right now. Maybe you're on a walk, maybe you're washing dishes, but wherever you are, we're really happy you carved out a little space for this.
Yeah. I always imagine someone holding a warm mug of coffee, just staring out the window for a second longer than usual.
That's actually how this started for me. A quiet morning. No music, no podcast, just the sound of the coffee machine and nothing else.
That already sounds suspicious. Nothing else is rare these days.
Exactly. I reached for my phone like I always do. Not because I needed it, not because someone texted me. Just reflex. Like muscle memory.
Automatic.
Totally automatic. And I caught myself mid-reach. My hand was already there before my brain even weighed in.
That moment is so revealing. It's like your body has a routine your mind never approved.
Right. And I wondered what would happen if I just didn't pick it up. Not for an hour. Not for a weekend retreat. Just one full day.
A whole day?
Yeah, no smartphone. At all.
That makes my chest tighten a little.
Mine too. And that reaction alone felt interesting.
Because it's not like we're talking about giving up oxygen. It's a device, but it feels bigger than that.
It does. So I tried it. I left it on my desk, didn't turn it off dramatically, didn't announce it to anyone, just left it.
And what was the first thing you noticed?
The silence. Not literal silence, but notification silence. No buzzing. No glowing screen lighting up. No red dots waiting for me.
Those red dots are dangerous.
They are. They feel urgent even when they're not. And I realized how obsessed I've become with checking them. Not even important messages. Just the possibility of something happening.
That's the hook, right? The possibility. The maybe.
Yeah. And without it, the morning felt intense.
Intense how?
Like everything was louder. The ticking of the clock, the hum of the refrigerator, my own thoughts.
Oh, that's the part people don't talk about. When you take away the screen, you're left with yourself.
Exactly. I actually had to use a real clock to check the time.
Stop. A real clock?
Yeah. One of those round ones on the wall. I haven't looked at it properly in years.
That's wild. We've turned our phones into clocks, calendars, maps, newsstands, social lives. It's like we outsourced half of our awareness.
And the craziest thing? I kept grabbing for it, even though it wasn't there.
Phantom limb syndrome.
That's what it felt like. I'd walk past my desk and feel this little pull. Like, maybe just check. For what? I didn't even know.
It's that just a second lie.
Yes! That exact phrase. I'll just check for a second. And that second turns into 20 minutes of scrolling through things I don't even care about.
I've done that at 7. 30 inches the morning. Before I've even brushed my teeth, I know what 3 influencers had for breakfast.
And we call that starting the day.
It's almost like we're afraid of the empty space.
That's what I started to wonder. Because when I didn't fill that space, I felt exposed.
Vulnerable?
Yeah. Vulnerable. Like I was missing something important. Like I left the house without shoes.
That's such a good way to put it. It's not just convenience, it's safety. The phone feels like a safety blanket.
Exactly. Even in my own kitchen.
So, what did you do with that discomfort?
At first, I paced. I made coffee slower than usual. I stared out the window longer. and I realized how quickly I normally escape boredom.
We treat boredom like an emergency.
We do. A 5-second pause, and we're like, quick, fill it.
But what if boredom isn't the enemy? What if it's just a doorway?
That's what the morning started to feel like. A doorway. Without my phone, I actually noticed the light hitting the trees outside. I heard a bird I've probably heard 1,000 times, but never really listened to.
That sounds peaceful.
It was. But it was also uncomfortable, because I couldn't distract myself from my own thoughts.
And what were they saying?
A lot of random stuff. Some anxiety about work, some ideas I'd been ignoring, a memory from years ago that just popped up. It was messy.
Phones give us curated input. Our own minds, not so curated.
Exactly. And I started to see how much I use scrolling to avoid that messiness.
I think a lot of us do. It's easier to absorb other people's lives than to sit with our own.
That's heavy, but true.
So you made it through the morning. Then what?
I had to leave the house.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's when the anxiety spiked.
Because now it's not just you and your thoughts, it's the outside world.
Right. I stood at the door and instinctively patted my pockets, wallet, keys, and then no phone.
That moment feels wrong.
It does. I actually considered turning back.
Of course you did.
I felt naked. Like I was stepping into the world without armor.
That's the safety blanket again?
Yeah. What if someone needs me? What if I need directions? What if I'm waiting in line and it's awkward?
The awkwardness is real. Elevators especially.
Oh, elevators were brutal.
Tell me.
I got in. And normally I'd just stare at my screen. Even if there's nothing to look at. Just pretending to check something.
It's the universal don't make eye contact device.
Exactly. But this time, I had nothing. So I just stood there. And there was another person. And we both kind of looked at each other like, now what?
Did you say something?
I smiled, which felt oddly bold.
That's brave in 2026.
I know. And they smiled back. And it was this tiny human moment that probably lasted 2 seconds, but it felt real.
That's interesting. Because normally we'd both be in our own digital worlds. Same elevator, different universes.
That's what I started calling it in my head, 4 different worlds mode. A family of 4 in a room, and each person is somewhere else entirely.
I've seen that at dinner. Everyone's scrolling, no one actually there.
And I've done it. I'm not judging.
Same.
Walking outside was another shift. I couldn't look down, so I had to look up.
That sounds simple, but it's huge.
I noticed the cracks in the sidewalk. A dog pulling its owner too hard. A neighbor watering their plants.
Did you talk to the neighbor?
I did, actually. Just a quick good morning. And it turned into a short conversation about the weather.
Look at you, being a functioning human.
It felt awkward at first. Like I didn't have my usual escape route. But then I realized something when I'm holding my phone. I'm half present, even if I'm not actively using it.
Because it's always an option.
Exactly. It's always there, waiting. And that possibility changes how I show up.
That makes me wonder, are we less patient because we know we can bail at any second?
I think so. Standing in line without a phone felt longer. Waiting at a crosswalk felt longer.
Was it actually longer?
Probably not. But I was fully there. Every second counted because I wasn't numbing it.
That's intense.
It is. And part of me missed the distraction. I won't lie. There were moments I wanted to grab it, just to smooth the edges of the day.
So here's the real question. Was it freeing Or was it just uncomfortable?
That's the thing. I'm not sure it was one or the other. It felt like both at the same time.
Like a contradiction.
Yeah. Freedom and vulnerability, side by side.
I'm curious, did you ever feel tempted to give up halfway through?
Oh, absolutely. Especially when I thought about work.
Ah, now we're getting into it.
Yeah. Because that's where the stakes feel higher. It's one thing to skip scrolling in the morning. It's another thing to step into productivity without your usual digital crutches.
So, what happened when you sat down to actually work without it?
So when I sat down to work, that's when it got real.
I can imagine. Work is where the just a second lie really thrives.
Oh, it lives there. I opened my laptop and within maybe 3 minutes, my brain whispered, "You should check your phone, just in case."
Just in case. What?
Exactly. Just in case something urgent happened. Just in case someone emailed and it didn't show up on my laptop. Just in case I was missing out on something important.
That's such a powerful word, important. We assume whatever's happening on the phone is more important than what's in front of us.
And most of the time, it's not. It's a notification about something completely trivial. But the possibility feels intense.
That's the obsession part. It's not even about the content anymore, it's about the pull.
Yeah. And without the phone there, I had to confront how often I interrupt myself.
That's huge.
I'd be mid-sentence in a document, and normally I'd pause to check a message, not because it couldn't wait, just because it arrived.
We've trained ourselves to respond instantly.
And I started noticing how that fractures my attention. It's like my focus never gets a chance to deepen.
It's surface level living, even in our own work.
Exactly. But that day, there was no option to glance down. So I stayed with the sentence, and then the paragraph, and then the whole page.
How did that feel?
Surprisingly, calmer. Not at first. At first, it felt restless. My brain kept looking for the exit door.
Like a habit pacing in a cage.
That's exactly it. My habits were pacing. But after maybe 20 minutes, something shifted.
What shifted?
I got immersed. Like really immersed. The kind of focus where time moves differently.
That's rare these days.
It is. And I realized how often I sabotage that state by checking my phone for just a second.
That phrase again.
Yeah. It's such a small phrase, but it carries so much exaggeration. It pretends the cost is tiny.
When it's actually huge.
Right. Because it's not just 10 seconds. It's the mental reset afterward. It's the attention you lose. It's the momentum that disappears.
And we blame ourselves for not being productive.
Exactly. We say, I just need more discipline. But what if the real issue is constant interruption?
So, would you say your productivity increased?
It did. But not in a frantic way. It wasn't intense like, look at me, I'm crushing it. It was steady.
That sounds healthier.
It was. And I also noticed something else. I wasn't emotionally pulled in 10 different directions.
Because you weren't consuming everyone else's updates while trying to create something of your own.
Yes. Normally, I'm drafting an email while thinking about a group chat, while half remembering a headline I just read.
4 different worlds mode again.
Exactly. But that day, there was just one world. The task in front of me.
I'm going to push back a little, though.
Please.
What about responsiveness? What if someone genuinely needed you?
That's fair. And I did think about that. I told a couple of close people ahead of time, just in case. But here's the thing, nothing urgent happened.
Of course it didn't.
And that was revealing. The anxiety was louder than the reality.
That's such a contradiction. We feel indispensable in the moment, but the world keeps spinning without our instant replies.
Exactly. And it made me question how much of my availability is actually just fear of missing out.
Or fear of not being in control.
That too, the phone gives you this illusion of control, like you're on top of everything.
When really, you're just reacting.
That's it. Reacting. All day long.
So work felt deeper, more focused. What about the emotional side of it? Did you feel less stressed?
In some ways, yes. In other ways, I felt more exposed.
How so?
Without quick dopamine hits from notifications, the day felt slower. And when something went wrong, a confusing email, a frustrating task I couldn't immediately escape into scrolling,
So you had to sit with the frustration.
yeah, and that's not fun.
No, it's not. But it's honest.
That's the word. Honest. I wasn't playing it safe by numbing myself. I had to deal with the discomfort directly.
I think that's why people hold on to their phones so tightly. It's not just habit, it's protection.
Protection from boredom, from awkwardness, from stress, from loneliness.
Especially loneliness.
Yeah, even during work, there's this low hum of isolation sometimes, and checking your phone makes you feel connected, even if it's shallow.
It's like a digital crowd. You're never really alone because there's always something happening online.
But that day, when I didn't have that crowd in my pocket, I had to face the quieter reality.
And what was that like?
It was mixed. There were moments I felt genuinely alone, but there were also moments I felt grounded,
That's interesting.
because I wasn't splitting my attention. I was just in one place, doing one thing.
That kind of presence is rare.
It is. And I started wondering if we're constantly escaping small discomforts, are we also escaping small joys?
That's a big question.
Think about it. If I can't tolerate 5 minutes of boredom without grabbing my phone, maybe I'm also missing 5 minutes of quiet insight, or creativity, or even just noticing my own thoughts.
Or noticing the people around you.
Exactly. I thought about families sitting in the same room, each person scrolling, technically together, but emotionally miles apart.
I've caught myself doing that. Sitting next to someone I love, both of us on our phones. And later we'll say, we didn't really talk tonight.
Because we were somewhere else.
That emotional distance creeps in quietly.
And it feels safe. You don't have to risk saying the wrong thing. You don't have to pour your heart out. You can just scroll.
It's low-risk connection.
But also low reward.
So, when you finished your workday, did you feel different?
I did. I felt clearer. Not euphoric. Not like I'd unlocked some secret, but clearer.
In what way?
Like I'd woken up a little. Like I could see how distracted I normally am.
That's powerful. Waking up to the truth of it.
Yeah, and it wasn't about strict rules or swearing off technology forever. It was more about awareness.
Choosing awareness over autopilot.
Exactly. But the day wasn't over yet.
Right. Because work is only one part of life.
Yeah, going home without a phone felt like a different challenge entirely.
I'm guessing that's where things got even more personal.
Very personal.
So what happened when you walked through the door and couldn't disappear into a screen?
When I walked through the door, my first instinct was the same as always. Put my keys down, drop my bag, and check my phone.
The decompression ritual.
Exactly. It's like a transition buffer. Work world to home world, smoothed over by a scroll.
So without it?
There was no buffer. It was just me, standing there, fully in the room.
That's vulnerable.
It was. And I realized how often I use my phone to delay being present. Like, hold on, I'm just finishing something. But I'm not finishing anything important.
You're buying time.
Yeah, buying distance.
Distance from what?
From eye contact. From real conversation. From the possibility that someone might say something emotional and I'll have to respond.
That's honest.
It was uncomfortable to see that in myself. I like to think I'm present. I value connection. But when the phone is there, I play it safe.
That phrase, again.
Yeah? I play it safe by staying half engaged. I can nod while reading something. I can laugh while glancing down. But I'm not fully there.
I've noticed that too. It creates this illusion of connection, like we're together, but we're also somewhere else.
4 different worlds mode.
Exactly.
That evening, I couldn't do that. There was no escape hatch. So when someone asked, "How was your day?" I actually had to answer.
Not just good while scrolling.
Not just that. I had to think about it. And then I ended up talking about the experiment, about how intense the morning felt, about the focus at work.
That probably led to a deeper conversation.
It did. We ended up talking about attention, about how we've all become a little obsessed. Not in a dramatic way, but quietly obsessed.
That's such a good word for it. Obsessed doesn't always mean dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle and constant.
Exactly. It's the constant checking, the constant background pull.
Did anyone push back like, phones aren't that bad?
Yeah. And they're not wrong. Phones are useful. They connect us. They're tools.
That's important. This isn't anti-technology.
Not at all. It's about awareness, about whether we're choosing to use it or whether it's choosing for us.
That's the contradiction. We think we're in control, but if you can't go a day without it, who's really in control?
That question hit me hard.
So, what happened later that night? Usually that's prime scrolling time.
Oh, absolutely. Nighttime is dangerous. You're tired, your defenses are low.
And the phone feels comforting.
Like a safety blanket again. You crawl into bed, and instead of sitting with your thoughts, you reach for it.
To avoid the intensity.
Yeah. Intense silence. Intense awareness. Intense feelings that bubble up when everything gets quiet.
So, you just lay there?
I did. And it was uncomfortable at first. My brain kept saying, "This is boring. You're missing something. Just check."
That exaggerated urgency.
Exactly. The mind exaggerates the importance of what's out there. But when I didn't give in, something interesting happened.
What?
The urge passed.
That's huge.
It was like watching a wave rise and then fall, and I realized most of my habits feel permanent in the moment, like I have to act on them.
But they're just impulses.
Yeah, they're temporary. And when I didn't act on it, I felt this strange sense of strength. Not intense, not dramatic, just steady.
That's a different kind of power.
It is. And I started thinking about loneliness.
That's an unexpected turn.
Not really. Because I think a lot of our scrolling is about not feeling alone.
That's true.
We say we're connected more than ever. But how often are we actually pouring our hearts out? How often are we having deep conversations instead of sending quick messages?
Messages are efficient. Conversations are vulnerable.
Exactly. A text lets you curate, edit, keep it safe. But sitting across from someone, looking them in the eye, that's different.
There's no filter.
And that night, without my phone, the conversations felt more real. There were pauses. There was eye contact. There were moments where no one filled the silence immediately.
Silence is powerful when we don't run from it.
Yeah, And I realized how much of my loneliness might actually be a digital contradiction.
What do you mean?
We scroll to feel connected. But sometimes, the more we scroll, the less satisfied we feel. We see everyone else's highlight reels. We consume constant updates. And yet, we don't feel deeply known.
That's so real. It's like drinking salt water. It feels like it should quench something, but it doesn't.
Exactly. And I'm not saying one day without a phone solves that. It doesn't. But it reveals something.
It wakes you up.
Yeah. It wakes you up to how automatic it all is. How much of it is habit rather than choice.
So, after the whole day, what would you say changed?
I don't think I became a different person. I didn't delete every app. I didn't swear off technology.
That would be intense.
Yeah, and probably unsustainable. But I did stop exaggerating how necessary constant access is.
That's big.
I saw how often I get in my own way, how I break my focus, how I create distance in conversations. And I realized I have more agency than I thought.
That's the key realization.
It is. The phone isn't evil, it's not the villain. But unconscious use, that's where the problem is.
So, it's not about strict rules.
No. It's about choosing awareness. Maybe it's leaving the phone in another room during dinner. Maybe it's not grabbing it first thing in the morning.
Small shifts.
Yeah. Small but intentional. Holding on to your attention like it matters.
Because it does.
It really does. Attention shapes your day, your relationships, your work, your sense of self.
I love that this wasn't about punishment. It wasn't, phones are bad, throw them away. It was more like, what happens if you step outside the habit?
Exactly. Just experiment. Notice. Be curious.
And maybe feel a little vulnerable.
Yeah. Vulnerable isn't a weakness. It's just exposure to what's real.
So if someone listening is thinking, there's no way I could do a whole day, what would you say?
I'd say you don't have to start with a day. Start with an hour. Start with a morning. Notice the urges. Notice the intensity. Notice the exaggeration in your own thoughts.
And don't judge yourself.
Exactly. This isn't about shame. It's about waking up.
Waking up to how you're spending your time.
And who you're becoming in the process.
That's such a gentle but powerful place to land.
Yeah. Just pay attention to your attention.
I like that.
Me too.
Maybe that's enough for today.
Yeah. Let's leave it there.
And maybe, just maybe, don't reach for your phone the second this ends.
Just see what happens.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for being here.